bad to me in my life, and I don't forgive them. I don't forgive them. And that's a Jewish thing. I have read, people don't understand this, I have heard so much crap where people say, oh, just forgive and forget, just forgive and forget. I've even read bullshit on H.com. H.com, they have like articles, and they say, oh, learn to forgive the other person even though the other person doesn't ask for forgiveness. Right? This is lahepech. This is the opposite of Judaism.
Right.
That is not Judaism. Judaism believes in tshuva, and the person who does something wrong that wrongs you has to do two things according to Rambam. They have to apologize to you, and they have to not do it anymore. And that means they have to not do it when they're tested. Ba'osim isha ba'osim makam. In that place again with that woman, they have to be able to walk by that woman and not do it with her again. That's when they complete their tshuva, right? Somebody comes up to me after doing something really bad to me, talking really bad shit about me, and they go, oh, I'm sorry. That doesn't do shit. You got to stop talking about me. You've got to go to all those people you said lashon hora about me to and tell them it's not true. And until you do that, I don't care what you say. It's just words. It's crap.
Hey, if you weighed up everything that you've done to other people, the good and the bad, and like kind of measured it, and then everything that other people have done to you, how would that balance?
Oh, only God can judge.
I know, but
only God can judge. Who am I to make that? I can't make that. No, I can't do that. I'm not even going to purport to be God. Only God is the true judge. Okay, God is the true judge. This is one thing I can say. When someone judges another human being, right, and they make a judgment, that's not for them to do. That's for God to do. Only God can make a judgment like that. I can't say that. I can't do it because I could say, well, I'm a terrible human being and I'm a horrible person. Who am I to make that judgment? Okay, there's a question here from Bubba Mitzia.
Can I look at your notes while you answer that question?
Yeah. Oh, I just lost my place. Okay. He says, how do you execute without the Sanhedrin? That's a very good question.
Great question.
It's a great question, Bubba. You can't, right? Without Sanhedrin today, we can't do that, right? However, we do have, in America, we do have laws, right? So like in America, that if somebody got murdered, executed, we do have capital punishment in this country. And I personally am in favor of capital punishment. Let me tell you something. Torah has a problem. Like we have like the 8th Amendment in a country, in the United States, and it's like, it should be a cruel, unusual punishment. And everybody's like, oh, prison's is a great idea. Let them sit there and rot like an animal. Torah is lahefek to that. Torah says that it's inhumane to have a person sit in a prison. Torah has no concept of a prison. Torah every punishment in Judaism is punishable one of three ways: death penalty, makos, lashes, or financial, monetary. Like you steal somebody, you have to pay them back twice. A couple. The concept of put them in a jail, right, is not a Jewish concept.
Yeah.
There's no place in Torah that talks about putting somebody. You know who was stuck in a jail forever? It was Joseph. Joseph was stuck in a jail. They threw him down in a dungeon. That's an Egyptian thing. That's a non-Jewish idea. Stick a person in because that's inhumane. Because a person, he's stuck in a cage. What's humane? Humane is life and death. People live and they die, so we're going to take your life from you. So I believe in capital punishment. It's a Torah way. It's life, and you've taken away, and now you can atone for the crime that you did. We're going to take your life away from you. Lashes. I'm in favor of lashes. I'm not for prisons.
Yeah.
Because prisons it's not. Animals are put in cages. Humans don't go in cages. That's not a humane punishment.
Yeah. Keep going. I'm just adjusting the camera angle. Why does the Torah in these portions spend so much time recounting all the different places that the Israelites have been? Like 42 different places that they traveled.
Well, I have
it's a little bit like that novel by Marcel Proust, Remembrance of Things Past.
Yeah, I saw that there was a Yiddish Kodesh, because I knew you were going to ask me about that, because Masei, and it talks about these travels. So the Yiddish Kodesh says this: every single Jew has travels. That every Jew, just like that the Jewish people traveled from here to there, to this place, to that place, every Jew in his lifetime travels in his service to God.
Mm-hmm.
That every Jew goes through a series, like they have their ups and downs, like, you know, they go like, oh, around here and to the west and to the east, and they go up and one thing we know, if you're not moving forward, if you're not working hard to get forward in your service to God, then you're going backwards.
Yeah.
You can't you cannot be neutral. You can't just sit there because you're going to fall apart. You know, you start not doing things. So you got to keep moving forward. It's like climbing a mountain. Okay? And what else is it? I basically talked about this.
It's also each place you go, there's a fixing that you can do, a tikkun. Every situation, whether you're talking to me on a live cam or you're walking down the street, or to quote Rabbi Victor Miller at one point, when you see a one-legged Puerto Rican, that's telling you something. Like everything you see, every situation you're in, is an opportunity to do tikkun, to fix
right,
yourself.
but the problem is you have to know exactly what it is that you have to do. You have to be at a higher level. It's not, like I can't just see like a three-legged Puerto Rican and go, oh, time to work on this. It's going to go right by me. Yes, he's right.
Like I remember once I didn't get up and drive to shore to Dove and Shacharit, and I went out and I saw a parking ticket without a parking ticket. I am not saying God sent this person to put a parking ticket to punish me for not going to shore. What I am saying is that I chose to see that as a spiritual message to get up and go to shul in the morning in Dublin. I'm not saying God led the parking attendant to punish me for not going.
He might have.
He might have. I'm not denying that he might have done that. I'm saying I'm choosing to take this situation and use it as a spiritual lesson to improve myself morally and Jewishly. And so every place we go, every situation we go, every person we can talk to, we can choose to use it as an opportunity to grow morally, Jewishly. Dennis Prager, I don't know if I've ever mentioned him before, but
no, I haven't. Who is he? I never heard of him.
He talked about when he would go on dates, if his date was boring, he would ask himself, why is she boring? And he'd try to figure it out. So that's so if you're on a boring date, ask yourself, why is this woman boring? Why is this man boring? Use this so that you can sharpen your understanding of life. When the rabbi gets up and speaks and you're drifting off to sleep, ask yourself, why? Why is the rabbi boring? What is it about what he's saying or how he's saying it that's boring? So every situation, every conversation, every place we go in life is an opportunity to grow.
That's very nice.
Thank
I
you.
that.
Thank you very much. Why did Moshe have problems with these two tribes that they wanted to settle on the east bank of the river?
That was a defense thing in case you wanted to bring that was my defense. What? Okay, go ahead. Say your thing.
I don't have anything. I just saw that you'd written something about it.
Well, it depends what your question would be. Just go ahead. I don't want to.
I'm not even sure what my question is.
Okay, because I was just anticipating you might say something.
Go ahead with what you anticipate I might say.
Okay, so I thought you might ask, what was the whole deal with why, the two tribes didn't want to cross the river?
Yeah, why didn't the two tribes want to cross the river? Why did they want to dwell on the east?
On the east. And the answer is there's a lot of different interpretations, and one is that they wanted to be closer to Moshe Rabbeinu. Because Moses wasn't allowed to cross the Jordan River. He wasn't allowed to be in. Yeah. That was his punishment. Mm-hmm. So they said, "Hey, we want to stay here, where we are here. Okay, check this out. Here's what they're going to do. We're going to stay here, and ex post facto, I guess that's a word,
Yeah.
Because we're here, and we're going to be in the land of Israel. That widens the land of Israel to here." And then when Moses dies here, he died in the land of Israel.
Right.
And we're going to circumvent God's decree.
Right.
This is going to make a cool thing, So he'll actually be buried in the land of Israel. Also, they wanted to be closer to their rabbi, and the rabbi was Moses, and they didn't want to have to cross the river without him. So this is why they wanted to stay behind. Mm-hmm. Right? And some people wanted, I've heard they were being selfish because they didn't want to go into Israel. And that's not true at all, because they actually went in there and fought to conquer the land, and then they went back, even though they're not going to actually benefit from that land because they're on the other side of the river.